Chapter 1. The One with the Secret. The sun beams optimistically through my window. I glare at it in disgust. It's far too early for this. Picking up my phone, I quickly scan the screen for the time. Ugh, it's almost 9. Any second now, Nicole will be walking through my door, highly motivated and ready to start the day. I suppose that's what any entrepreneur would want in an employee, but Nicole just isn't any employee. She's a lifelong friend. She's walked through my front door 1,000 times before, but she never used to ask me to do the tasky things. It was so much easier when we were kids. Eat, sleep, play, repeat, drink vodka, repeat that too. Shaking away the nostalgia, I know I need to get moving. After all, I'm supposedly the boss of all of this. All right, I'm up. Kind of. First things first, I tell myself. Just put your feet on the floor. Taking a deep breath, I reluctantly place my feet on the floor. The days that I don't want to get out of bed are nothing short of dramatic. You may as well call in the camera crew for the theatrics. As I slip into a pair of leggings, I scan my nightstand for a hair tie. Knocking the dust off the closest one, I pull my hair in a messy bun. The I get shit done bun, if you will. Reluctantly, I slide on a pair of shoes and step into the living room. One might think the workload is where my reluctance lies, but that isn't the case. The reluctance is that I still have to wear shoes inside my own living room. And pants, too. The accident is well behind me, but I can still feel the pain it left me with each step that I take. Shoes take the edge off a bit. I resent them nonetheless. As I catch a glance of my reflection in the mirror, I can't help but notice that it looks like I'm going for a run. Anyone that knows me well knows that that is certainly not the case. I wouldn't do such a thing. Taking a look around, I realize the workload isn't as bad as I thought it was. I swear I had a dream last night that hundreds of shipments covered the ground. Wouldn't that be a nice problem to have? Slowly, the memory of my dream comes back to me. I can't help but smile at just the thought of it. It was a nice change of pace from the dreams that I usually have. Although, I wouldn't exactly call a nightmare a dream, but to each their own. Curiously, I pick up the stack of packing slips that Nicole had left on the desk. Sifting through the orders, I can't help but notice that they are mostly SeaPaint orders. When did that happen? Normally, our orders are mostly craft supply items, which, if I'm being honest, leave very little room for profit. To my dismay, my eyes begin to water, and a small sense of pride washes over me. They like SeaPaint. They like SeaPaint. The realization simultaneously surprises me and excites me. Delicious relief floods my body. This could be fun. Over the rustling of the paper, I can hear Jose stirring in the bedroom. For a moment, I consider climbing back in bed for snuggles, but instead, I settle onto the sofa and pull my laptop close to me. I'm a terrible wife. Opening my browser, I go straight to Facebook. When I log in, there are over 100 friend requests waiting for me, stopping me in my tracks. What? Momentarily, I think that perhaps it is a glitch or a fresh flock of scammers trying to weasel their way in to steal my existence and maybe even my whole entire life. As I lean in to scan the profiles, to my surprise, it's neither. Wait, these people are real humans. Why would they want to be friends with me? I'm annoying as f***. This can't be right. I mean, sure, my parents love me, but didn't they have to? Isn't that the rule? One by one, I scan their profiles looking for signs of it being a hoax or perhaps even a glitch. Maybe they're all serial killers and I look like easy prey. After all, I've always thought I'd be murdered someday. Maybe the someday is someday soon. As I scan their faces individually, no one in particular gives off any murder vibes. Less true crime, more laundry, I remind myself. I realize that there is really only one way to find out, anyhow. With a small shrug of my shoulders, one by one, I begin going down the line to accept the friend request. Halfway through the process, Jose stumbles sleepily into the living room. Taking in my confused expression, he's quick to assume the worst. What's going on? He asks. His own expression is one of alarm. No, I say, shaking my head, quickly reassuring him. I think it's the opposite of bad. What do you mean? The confusion can be heard in his voice. The impatience on my end can be heard aggressively dancing around inside my head. I think my secret's out, I elaborate. What secret? He asks, bewildered. The secret, I say exasperatedly. What did he mean, what secret? I can see the genuine confusion washing over his face for a second, and I feel a twinge of guilt for getting frustrated with him. The secret, I say with dramatic emphasis. My hands are moving frantically in the air with each syllable as if that could possibly help explain the doorbell. But to me, it's something else. The sound is startling and my anxiety instantly skyrockets. My thoughts begin to race. Nicole would just walk right in, like she always does, like she did since we were kids. It has to be somebody else there. Catching my expression, Jose calmly says, "She did not hop on a plane to kill you." "Okay, first off," I say, "we don't know that. We don't know anything," I say as I make my way to the door. When I open the door, to my delight, Nicole is staring back at me. A sigh of relief escapes me. "Well, good morning to you too," she says to me a little cheekily. "No, it's not that," I explain. "It's just that I thought you were here to kill me." When I hear it out loud in my own voice, I can't help but hear how ridiculous it sounds. "What?" she asks, perplexed. "Well, not you, but somebody." Immediately, I find myself wishing that I wasn't this embarrassing. Oversharing is going to be the bane of your existence. I just know it, I tell myself. "Too much true crime TV for you, young lady," she says, wagging her finger at me. "That's not a thing," I object. As soon as it leaves my lips, I know it's not accurate. "Okay, it probably is a thing, but I just, had a bad dream," I explain simply. No part of me wants to explain to her that I think the crafty criminal is going to uproot her entire life to kill me, so I don't. "Well," she says, pointing to the door, "it was still locked," she explains. "Most mornings I leave it unlocked, just like my parents did when I was a kid, but lately, that doesn't feel as safe to me. Not that it probably ever was." I nod silently, but don't bother explaining it any further. There is something about the crazy crafter that makes me very uneasy, so uneasy that it's disturbing my sleep and perhaps even impacting my voice of reason. Don't be ridiculous, I tell myself. Maybe her record didn't exactly say murder, but I've seen one too many true crime episodes with crimes of passion to not be concerned. And right now, she's entirely mad at me. An unnecessary panic washes over my entire body and floods my existence. Nicole settles calmly onto the sofa. I pause momentarily to watch her like a total creep. Her energy is soft and quiet. I can tell she's at ease. Silently, I wonder what that must be like, to live in a state of calm, to be the calm. Shaking the thought from my mind, I subconsciously follow her lead and plop down in the seat next to her. Pulling my laptop back into my lap, I return my attention back to Facebook once again. Oddly enough, as I focus my gaze, it's a post from the crazy crafter staring back at me. The post simply reads, "Sea cult, sea cunt." I nod at the words slowly, letting them sink in a bit so I can savor them. Lovely. Just lovely. I need caffeine. Closing my laptop, I head to the kitchen. As I make my way to the fridge, I can't help but think both of these would make great paint names. Toying with the idea briefly, I dismiss it nearly as quickly as it sounds. You are not naming a paint sea cunt. When I return home from the kitchen with the Diet Coke in hand, I can see Nicole's eyes are scanning the room. I can tell by her expression that she doesn't like what she sees. Before she even says a word, I begin to quickly apologize. The mess is embarrassing.